Welcome to episode 2 of He Won't and
She Don't.
Okay, we're here to briefly give you a review of the phenomenal Michael movie. We saw it 2 weeks ago at we got to shout out our favorite movie theater, the Alamo Draft House Theater.
Yeah.
Okay, get there
if
early.
You have one.
Okay,
Out.
If you don't have one in your local town, I don't know what to tell you, but we love this place. Food is great, and the previews and all the vintage videos and clips that they showed that's themed to the movie were great. But hey, let's just get right into the movie. Michael. Okay, Can I start? All right, I'm gonna start this time. But one of the highlights of the movie, I mean, you could have called this movie Michael and Joe. Okay, so and spoiler alert. Okay, spoiler alert.
Everyone has seen it by now. Everyone has seen it.
You're probably right. So, the movie, especially, I think maybe 3/4 of the movie, if not all of the movie, really speaks to the relationship and the dynamic of the patriarch, which is Joe Jackson, and the phenom Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think
and they forget some kids in the process because last I counted, there were 3 girls, not 1.
Yeah.
And I did not see Janet, and I did not see Rebe. So that was kind of a problem.
Okay. Yeah, well, you can talk about that. I'm not going to talk about any of those. But
and then can we talk about...
You can when it's your turn.
Oh, here we go.
But
what is with the turns?
Because that's what you do. You know, it's my turn. Your
Siskel
turn.
and Ebert seem to just flow.
No. It's a rhythm. It's a rhythm to this. So anyway, as I was saying before my beautiful co-host interrupted me, is that really it's the dynamic between Michael and Joe and what really created who Michael ended up being. The undertone was that I think Michael was really trying to prove to Joe that he didn't need it. And constantly you keep hearing
what?
That he didn't need his father to continue to be the dominant figure in his life. And what I found interesting was the fact that over and over, you heard the Jackson kids refer to their father as Joseph. So I thought that was very, very interesting. But I also found briefly when they were in Gary, Indiana phase of the movie at the beginning, I found Joe, and some people might find this a little interesting because of Joe's reputation that we all know about. I found Joe to be kind of a sympathetic figure, hardworking, because he was a hardworking factory worker. And then he's quoted in the movie as talking about, as Black children, Black people here in America, all the things that we got to overcome and work hard and those type of things. That's why he was pushing his kids to have the talent to get them out of Gary, Indiana. So,
was it to get them out of Gary, Indiana?
I think
or was it to position himself?
I think
out of the coal mine.
I think it was initially to get the entire family out. The reason why I say that is because he was so concerned about the group. It didn't get to be, for him, it was never about Michael. It was all about the Jackson 5. So I found him to be sympathetic early on in the movie when they were in the Gary, Indiana phase of things. And rightfully so, as you bring out, when they ended up becoming California residents, it kind of took a turn. But that's why I want to open up with what I thought about.
But did it take a turn? I guess I totally don't agree with you. I think that the same theme that started from the beginning is the same theme that kept up in the end. I don't know that I agree with you that it was ever about kids assuming their full success in what they are called to do. I think it was always about what he saw for himself and his family. So it was very possessive the way that I saw it, right? It was not legacy building. It was possessive. My family, my kids, we are doing this. So as a result, I think you saw that carry through even in the California days. And Michael, I found it interesting that they wrote the story to show him having such a hard time breaking free of that. And then you see no personality in any of the other kids. You see no expression of individualism, of interest, There's an implication that Jermaine perhaps had one because Jermaine
Movie's called
sort of
Michael, not Jermaine.
okay, but the point is he was the only brother in the group who seemed to sort of dismiss himself from the group, and it was okay. You know what I mean? So I think it was about Joe.
Well, two people can see the same
Yeah.
thing and come away with different interpretations.
Absolutely.
I'm-
And
I'm-
we usually do.
I don't know about that, but I'm saying it again. When I say he's sympathetic, I'm looking at it as a father, especially in that dynamic of the early 60s, when there was so much oppression for any Black family, let alone any North or South. Here was an opportunity that this man saw that he had very talented children. Okay. And he was going to do whatever it took.
And that happens today.
I'm just talking about
But
1960s Gary, Indiana.
let's talk about the translation of that to today. You can have a family that you believe has very talented children, but the way you go about expressing your desires for them has to be different, has to be more healthy than that. That was such an unhealthy approach. And I think that the writers did a good job of telling this story so that you could sympathize with the character who I think really is the villain in some instances. Like, I think he's the villain. Like, unless
Okay, it's right. I'm not going to say your opinion is incorrect, but you're going from it from a 2026 hindsight. We're talking about the 60s when our people didn't have college education, didn't have
yes,
mental health.
my parents did.
Can I finish my thought? I'm not this. You can't. I'm being general.
Yeah,
you're being specific.
But you're being very general. I don't know that I agree with that. They're very well-educated African Americans in the 60s.
Were the Jackson was Joe Jackson very educated?
Well, I don't know.
That's the character I'm talking about.
Okay.
You can't
So you're
make Joe
talking
Jackson
specifically about Joe.
That's the movie,
Okay.
Michael Jackson.
Gotcha.
I'm not talking about
all right, but
2026.
But I thought you were
Black
pivoting
families.
to talk
No,
about
that's
Black
you.
families.
That's you.
Okay.
I said in the Gary, Indiana phase of this movie, I found him to be somewhat sympathetic because of the times. Here was a father of 8 children or so that he was only going to be a factory worker because of the obstacles and the segregation, prejudice